Hello everybody, welcome back to It's Current Year for another quick battle ladder replay today on MP Crossroads, and it's a first for the channel. It is a mirror match, and I think it's fair to say most people aren't all that experienced in mirror matches, but this is one that I don't think I have ever played. Warriors of Chaos obviously are one of my main factions, and yeah, Rocket Roo here from the BBB clan. We both readied up and basically picked Warriors of Chaos at exactly the same time, so we just went with it. We were having a bit of a chat. He's a very nice guy, so he's stuck with the Warriors. I've stuck with the Warriors, and we'll see who the Chaos Gods favour this day. So in the front line for Rocket Roo's forces, we've got the Mirror Guard alongside a couple of units of Marauders. Mirror Guard really nice here. Good anchor piece. Obviously great combat stats. And immune to psychology means it can't be terror-routed off too easily. 2 units of Chosen with great weapons, pretty heavy metal there. And then the Demon Spew, obviously Forsaken unit that can debuff melee attack in a small area of effect. Also poisoned attacks. Real buzzsaws can clean through a lot of chaff infantry and that kind of stuff very quickly. And just their debuff effect is just generally very helpful. 2 Marauder Horsemen and a Marauder Horse Master mirrored on each flank here, and leading the force, the hero core, a Metal Mage up on the horsey of the a Chaos Pony. They always look. He doesn't look too bad. He doesn't look too out of proportion, but he has taken Plague of Rust and Final Transmutation, and leading the force, Slaanesh has one eye on this battle, and there is the sign of Slaanesh himself. Prince Sigvald, so come in with the Auric armor and all his buffs. Very hard to kill, and you've got to really make a pretty concerted effort to get him off the field or get some damage into him early, or he can sort of just sit there and sort of solo your army when you think you've got things under control. So for my force, it's similar. Not too dissimilar from Rocket Roo's force. I have a couple of units of Horse Masters and a Horseman on each flank. Couple fewer than he does, but we'll see what we can manage with them. 4 units of Chaos Marauders, 2 units of regular Chaos Warriors. So they're gonna be outclassed quite significantly by the Chosen, but they can probably get some good damage in elsewhere. We have the Summoners of Rage, Dragon Ogre, ROR. Wanted a bit of ROR, wanted a bit of a backline sweeper as well, just to keep my Hell Cannon, which I've brought, safe. And ideally I would have liked to go for the ROI Hell Cannon. Obviously it has a fair bit more ammunition. It also fires a bit faster, but we had to skip and just go for the regular one. I think it's pretty good in this matchup, and I think given that my opponent has gone pretty heavy on infantry, I think it's definitely going to have some work to do. And for the magic, I have taken a Death Sorcerer on foot, just with Spirit Leech, but with also the Scroll of Damage Resistance to help out the King of the Mountain himself. Oh my gosh, what is happening to my focus here? Okay, Kolek, he's taken Star Crusher, and obviously he's Lord of the Storm ability. So not so it's Slaanesh versus, I guess, sort of just Chaos Undivided. Kolek doesn't really owe fealty to any particular Chaos God, just the Chaos Gods in general. So seeing that I'm quite outnumbered in the skirmish cav fight, I decided to just pull back, and I decided to just spread out a little bit with my infantry, try and make the field a little bit wider for my opponent. The Hell Cannon actually does really good splash damage, and I have obviously popped, or I am going to pop the Boom trait, which does add to the splash damage. So just going to get a few shots in there, and you can see what's happened already. You know, we're taking out some unit models. The leadership is very low on them, and we're going to rush in now and see if we can get a couple of volleys and maybe even rout one off. Over this side, just sort of, as I said, fanning out, using my shields. Obviously, you know, bronze shields on the Marauders means they can soak up a little bit of the ammunition from all the Horse Masters here, and we're going to bring this unit of Horse Masters out just to sort of screen behind the shields, as well as Kolek and the Dragon over. Now, the benefit of the Hell Cannon means my opponent will have to come to me, and I was sort of conscious of this. That's a nice sort of, maybe a little bit of a 2-for-1 there. Damage going down on both units, as we see the Boom trait with extra explosive damage and armor-piercing explosive damage. And again, I'm just retreating back behind my shields where I need to. There's going to be a bit of a protracted skirmish phase, and I see a bit of an opportunity here maybe to hit this one unit of horsemen in combat. He is paying attention though, Rocket Roo, and he will pull them back. But once again, just standing behind my shields, you know, pushing him back where I need to, and seeing if I can just sort of get some good trades and thin this skirmish cav battle out a little bit, but he has sort of gotten in the back row, and this is where Kolek and the Summoners of Rage will be summoned to just keep the peace a little bit. Obviously a fair bit of missile resistance on both these units with their scaly skin, so they can tank through a little bit of this. It's not a particularly big deal. And as we go down and look at the battlefield here, we see Kolek just taking a whole bunch of javelins, but he doesn't really care about it because he's got scaly skin. Now that the fight is sort of underway, obviously the Mirror Guard are clashing with my Chaos Warriors, and Sigvald is actually getting a little bit overextended. I did sort of see this, that there was a little bit of bait here with the Chaos Sorcerer, and I see now that he is pushing in hard for this quick pick, and Kolek and the Summoners of Rage are going to pounce and make a move. I'm forming back up with my infantry around here because I actually don't want him to be able to push back out. We've done pretty well at sort of equalising this skirmish game. It's 2 on 2 here. This unit's getting a little bit isolated by these 2 units, and a big final transmutation goes down, which does manage to clip the Summoners of Rage, but it didn't get Kolek. Unfortunately, the Chaos Sorcerer of Death has gone down. Had a little bit of his health taken away by it, and now just committing to combat again. And I think this is something that people should be pretty confident enough to do with Marauder Horsemen. They are decent cycle charges, and just got 1 unit of Chaos Marauders back babysitting the Hell Cannon now, but Rocketry just struggling to sort of break through. I am starting to wear a little bit in the frontline infantry as the Lord of the Storm does go down, but now we see a bit of a gooning attempt on Sigvald. I'm very, as I said at the start, very conscious to get as much damage as I can into him while I have him isolated like this. So Scroll of Shielding and Star Crusher is going down on Kolek, and you can see here getting Sigvald pretty low, and the Summoners of Rage have sort of branched out a little bit. There's a bit of sort of dual attack orders, but the back line is going well for me. Again, committing my Marauders to combat where I can, because if you can get the charge bonus, Marauders will beat other Marauders, pretty handedly, assuming they aren't countercharged. And we're just pulling back with any infantry that we haven't committed to the fight now. Again, just to screen the Marauders and making sure there's another layer of defense when the infantry front line, which will go against us, obviously with Chosen and the Mirror Guard and the RORs back here. The Chain Lightning from the Summoners of Rage has pivoted off. I don't know if it did a great deal, but we're getting a lot of routing now, and my Hell Cannon here is up to 71 kills, no doubt accruing a lot of value. I'm not sure at the time whether I realized that these were Chosen. I thought they might have just been regular Chaos Warriors, but that should be definitely where my ammunition is being spent now. But Sigvald is extremely low, but because he's fighting in amongst all this infantry, he there's just some dropped attack orders. I don't know what's happening with Kolek here, what he's doing. It's probably been moved on to the Chosen, but as you can see, Chosen very, very hard to deal with. It's an elite great weapon infantry that has 51 melee defense, obviously, with some chevrons having gone down onto them over the course of the battle, is very tough to deal with outside of sort of artillery. But we do have some artillery still. We have 2 charges left on our Hell Cannon. It's starting to get some pretty big value. Again, just committing the Marauders to combat where I can. Horse Masters, nice combat stats and a decent charge bonus. Getting some rear charges in here. And once again, even with Slippery, we're just getting some little bits of damage in, even though the Auric Armor is helping out Sigvald, and we're managing somehow just to keep these Marauders in the fight against the Chaos, the Chosen, despite the fact that the Summoners of Rage are really on their last legs. But Sigvald really starting to turn the tables here on Kolek a little bit in that last couple of minutes. He is sub 500 hit points. He's actually gone from sub 300 back up to 400, and I just can't get any hits on him now. So seeing Kolek route, my opponent very wisely does send the Metal Mage off. I will notice this in a second. I will try and get these Marauder Horsemen to chase down the Metal Mage, but finally we do manage to kill Sigvald, and that is a big relief for me. I still have 34 Chosen to deal with here, 23 Chosen to deal with here, and a very, very close to death Lord. Now, he won't be caught, obviously, by the Metal Mage, because they are the same speed. And with his back turned, the Marauder Horsemasters may be able to help stabilize Kolek, and that would be pretty big for the balance of power. But the Hell Cannon's used all its ammunition. It's going to die to just regular Marauders here, the crew. But that doesn't really matter. It served its purpose now. A couple of brave Summoners of Rage fighting on bravely there, as we say, as the remnants of the Marauder, the Demon Spew do come in to clean up some Marauder horsemen. But this is getting really close, and as we take a bit of an overarching look, you know, Rocket Roo has some rallying infantry, but it's just Marauders. Over here, he's got a little pocket of 18 chosen with great weapons. I have managed to break and actually shatter this Metal Mage, but I don't think Kolek is coming back at this stage. He's stabilized at 0 leadership, which doesn't fill me with confidence that he's going to be back in the fight. Summoners of Rage have unfortunately broken. There's only 2 of them left, and now it's pretty much down to the Death Sorcerer and the Death Sorcerer alone, as we see a number of the red banners of Rocket Roo's Chaos just coming back. Everything is super tattered, but there are 29 Marauder Horsemen on, Horse Masters indeed, on the horizon, ready to charge back into the fray here. 2 Summoners of Rage, and then a bunch of Marauder Horsemen over on this side. Again, Horse Masters, so pretty big. Some decent charge bonus. And this Chaos Sorcerer of Death, despite fighting bravely, is wavering and will rout. And this was where I thought the game may have slipped away from me. He had 2 seconds when he routed before getting another Spirit Leech. And I think another Spirit Leech going down on those chosen may have just about been able to finish that unit off. So we're going to have to rely on maybe a bit of cycle charging. Now, both of these units of Horse Masters, well, one from a model perspective and just an HP perspective, is very healthy. We've got a little bit of ammunition left, but it's not going to be too substantial given the Chosen's superior armor. But we do manage to start to rout the Chosen. The Death Mage does come back, and with Kolek gone from the field, the Metal Mage gone from the field, Sigvald is dead. This guy, the Chaos Gods might either turn this guy into a Demon Prince or maybe a Chaos Spawn. So yeah, go you, Mr. Death Sorcerer. You actually did a fair bit of work. Got a number of Spirit Leeches into Sigvald and various other units. So yeah, pretty close game. I have to admit, I think overall I would say that the Chaos Gods would just avert their gaze from this battlefield and be very disappointed in their chosen champions. Kolek fled like a coward with minimal hit points left. Sigvald's just dead, so Slaanesh might reincarnate him and bring back, but the Metal Mage ran away. Actually, I think he might have even got killed before he went short, but 1,000 damage on the Sorcerer of Death ain't half bad, and Kolek did do a power of work in the early game, which probably did set up the victory, even despite him running away at the end. And the perfect vigor, I think, in the end is what brought Sigvald back into it. But we saw Sigvald overextend to try and get a bit of a duel with the Chaos Sorcerer, and I made a very quick call there to basically just try and bum rush him with Kolek and the Summoners, and it was probably the right one. Spirit Leech, you know, Sigvald can heal through a lot of Spirit Leech, but like I said at the start, you just have to find a way to put damage into him in the early game, because given his perfect vigor and his ability to regen, he counts for a lot on the balance of power, and that means if you leave him till last, unless you get pretty decisive engagements elsewhere, he just solos you at the end of the game. So Kolek and the Dragon Princes got some decent value. Big ups on the Hell Cannon, used all its ammunition, probably tipped the skirmish fight a little bit in our favour, and I think thinned the ranks down a little bit. Got a few shots into the Mirror Guard so they couldn't hold the line, and allowed our infantry basically just to do what it needed to do. You know, no big winners there in the infantry line, but our horsemen and our horse masters, look at that, both in 4 figures. Both units of Marauders, well, between them, definitely paying for themselves. But yeah, pretty close battle, and thank you very much to Rocket Roo for allowing me to cast it. And have to say, just in general, been having a few games with the BBB clan recently, and they are always very pleasant in both victory and defeat. Always nice guys. So the Sorcerer of Death earns the favour of the Chaos Gods today, but you all earn my favour for checking out this video. And until next time, take care.